Today's episode of the Just Keep Swimming podcast is brought to you by Audible. Audible is an online audiobook and podcast service offering over 10,000 books and the ability to listen to your favorite podcasts, including the Just Keep Swimming podcast. I personally use Audible all the time and suggest you take a listen to Intentional Living by John C. Maxwell. In this book, Mr. Maxwell shares his story on how he was able to live a noble and purposeful life and gives you tips and tricks so you can do the same. So please start your 30-day free trial now at www.audibletrial.com/JKS podcast, all lowercase. Again, that is www.audibletrial.com/JKS podcast. And if you have any more questions or concerns for the Just Keep Swimming podcast, you're always welcome to reach out to us on Facebook or at Instagram at Just Keep Swimming _podcast, or you can email us at jkspodcast702@gmail.com. And with that out the way, let's dive into it. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to the Just Keep Swimming podcast. This is your friend, your boy, your host, Mr. Adrian Jackson, and we back at it again with another great episode for you. And you already know who's with me. It's the man, the myth, the legend. It's Mr. 13, dropping hot beats for the city as always. So please make sure you guys catch up with him. Just want to give you guys some news. We have some good, exciting episodes coming for you guys in the soon future, so please be on the lookout for that. But for today, ladies and gentlemen, I kind of had a topic that I kind of thought of over the last few days, and I kind of just want to share the idea with you. I hope it makes sense. Sorry about that. I hope it makes sense, but if not, help me make it make sense. I feel like it's a good direction I'm going in. I'm just trying to figure out how to apply it correctly. But so today's episode, I'm going to call it wasted knowledge with a question mark. So we're in this world where there's information everywhere. You can't get away from it, whether it's the internet, whether it's the radio, the TV, driving down the street, talking with people, reading something. There's information everywhere on all types of things. And I kind of got to the point of trying to figure out what to filter out and what to absorb, like what knowledge is actually good for me and what knowledge is just wasted knowledge that I don't need to know about, don't need to care about, and will never apply into my life. So that kind of helped me come up with 3 categories on types of knowledge. So the first category I have is applicable knowledge, pretty much. So applicable knowledge. So knowledge that you can apply right now, and it can be helpful to you right now in this moment. And I believe that is a lot of knowledge that we receive, while working, maybe reading a book on a topic that we're thinking about. Prime example is cooking. Yesterday I went to my grandma's house and she had some greens ready to go. So I picked some greens for the first time in a long time. And, then I had to get down the recipe on how to cook the greens. So I'm actually going to try that today. But for me, that was applicable knowledge. I was able to apply this knowledge right now pretty soon after learning it. And I'm actually going to try to apply it today. So I think this is like the knowledge that we get from books that we read, from going to like counseling, from, just going over the basic meetings that we're in right now at work. This is the knowledge that we receive right now that has to do with us today. A lot of this presidential stuff, I feel like a while ago it wasn't applicable, but now it is really, really applicable, being that the knowledge you have is going to determine how you make your vote and what decision you want to go in. In school, there's a lot of knowledge that the kids learn right away that they can apply right now, such as like things in psychology or like basic math problems that you can apply to, trying to figure out your grocery bill and stuff like that. So I feel like there's a lot of applicable knowledge, but the question is trying to determine, is it applicable or not? Can I use it right now in this moment? Can it affect my life right now? I feel a lot of books that I listen to, they give me a lot of applicable knowledge, but then they give me the second topic that I want to talk about is reserved knowledge. So the reserved knowledge is a knowledge that you learn, but it's kind of like, how can I apply this? And you maybe not be sure how you can apply it right now. It's valuable, it's worth something, you just aren't sure how to apply it right now. And I think a lot of that knowledge comes from, for me, from YouTube, from books for sure. For example, I love to watch YouTube videos of people in the wilderness building fires and making camps and hunting, or, shooting guns or whatever it is. And it's like, I feel like a lot of this knowledge is, useful. It's some tips to help you be safer or how to survive if this situation ever happens to you. But the chances of me actually using this knowledge are probably very slim to none. This is a knowledge that you get that, it's the things that spark your interest that, just make you, quote unquote, tickle your fancy, or just makes you intrigued in life. Like for me, it's a lot of science stuff, but the chances of me having to apply, this science stuff is like, okay, I may never have to apply this. It's cool to know, but I may never have to apply this at all. So is this valuable to me or not? And I think that right there goes hand in hand with the applied knowledge, because a lot of applied knowledge we may learn, we might think we could apply right now, but turns out we can't. Or maybe there may be some reserved knowledge that we think, oh, I can't apply this right now, and we turned out we can. So I think those are two types of knowledges that we have to, really, really filter out and filter through to try to figure out, is it good to have? Is it good to set to the side? Can I use this right now? Or is this something that can be used later? And then this leads to my last piece of knowledge, which I'm still trying to wrap my head around. So please offer any advice or, any thoughts on this. But my last piece of knowledge is going to be wasted knowledge. So for me, this is knowledge that is just wasted. Like, yeah, you learned it, but it's like, this is not going to apply to me in life. I'm never going to use this. It doesn't really affect me at all. Cool, I learned it, nice, but would I ever apply this? Very, very slim chance to none. Reserve knowledge, I feel like you have a 50-50 chance to applying it, maybe a 75% chance of applying it at some point, or a 25% chance of applying it. But for the wasted knowledge, I feel like you have like 2% chance of applying it. It may not help you out at all. For me, wasted knowledge will be things such as like the football games, the scores, sports. Yeah, I love sports, but they don't tickle my fancy. The knowledge of, who the Raiders just picked up or who the Lakers are playing next week has nothing to do with life at all for me. Like, okay, if I was interested in sports, maybe it would be some reserved knowledge, some good applied knowledge if I was gambling. But being that I'm not into those things, for me, it's just wasted knowledge and really has no effect on me. Like, I'm hearing the whole thing about, LeBron and his son playing on the same team. And it's like, okay, cool, that's history, but what? That's not going to reserve anything for me. It's not going to help me win the contest. It's not going to help me survive if all the electricity and power in the world goes out, the zombie invasion happens. It's not going to affect me. It's just knowledge, it's cool knowledge, but it's not really knowledge for me. Other pieces of knowledge could be, that's our wasted knowledge, could be things such as maybe stuff about animals. Maybe you learn something new about an animal and it's like, oh, cool, I learned this, but this isn't going to apply to me. I'm not a, zoologist. I don't work with dolphins. I don't work with whales. So me learning this may be cool in the future. Maybe I have a 10% chance of applying this. Maybe it'll be on a trivia question, but besides that, it's kind of like wasted knowledge. Like, it's cool knowledge, but it's just random wasted knowledge that it's not really going to apply to you anywhere. And that's the knowledge that I feel that we really have to filter through, because that's the knowledge that we get filled with a lot. A lot. This knowledge is all over the place. Marketing, advertisements, celebrity gossip, things that just don't apply to your life, or it's not going to affect you in any way, shape, or form down the line. 10 years from now, it's just going to be relevant. Like the whole Diddy stuff. I understand it's crazy, it's wild, it's mind-blowing, but at the end of the day, this isn't affecting me at all in one shape, bit, or form. Yes, it's a cool little conversation starter, but besides that, it doesn't affect me, compared to the government stuff, Kamala Harris and Trump. That information right there applies right now, being that I need to vote. We have an election coming up. That is knowledge that applies right now. Things about cars, maybe I don't apply it right now, but it'd be some good reserve knowledge, because you never know when my car may break down, or I may have this issue that I need a ghetto rig right now. But like wasted knowledge would be the new Porsche coming out. Cool, that's nice, exciting, but I can't afford a Porsche. Porsche is not in my price range. It's not in my lifestyle. It doesn't accommodate me in either way. So what's the point of knowing this knowledge? Is it really worth it for me? Yeah. So I think that right there is pretty interesting. And one thing that really made this whole topic come in my mind is this amazing story I was listening to in this book. They were talking about how this guy was on stand for his company, trying to talk about how his company is wasting money. But every question they asked him, he was able to give facts, figures to the accurate digits. And it was blowing everybody's mind that he had so much knowledge in his head. But it turns to find out that this man has no wasted knowledge. He doesn't care about the sports scores. He doesn't care about the newest cars, the latest fashions, anything like that. All he focuses on is the oil, his company, his job, and the things that apply to him, his family, friends, stuff like that. But if it's outside his circle, he never wasted no knowledge on it. And they were saying that he is one of the sharpest minds ever in American history. I can't give you his name right now, but it was just the idea that this man was able to give you facts and figures from 20 years ago, from when he first started, and can give you the differences between that now and today numbers. Is just amazing, because the knowledge that he has is not wasted. So my challenge for you this week is to see, are you wasting knowledge? Is the knowledge we're receiving right now, is it applicable? Is it reserved knowledge, or is it wasted knowledge? And, trying to determine what to do with it. Do we need to use it? Do we need to set it to the side, or could we just let it fall on our minds? Like, is this McDonald's deal really that important to you, or is the government election more important to you that you need to apply right now? So I think that right there was a great thought I had today. I just wanted to share it with you guys. I hope to help you guys out. Hope it makes you think a little bit, because my goal is always to make you think. If you guys have any questions or anything you want to add to it, please reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you guys. Everything we receive is always good. Definitely know that people are listening out there, and we're helping people out. So we appreciate everybody for taking your time today, listen to this podcast. Accept the challenge, try to figure out what knowledge we're listening to, what's worth it, what's not worth it. Let's get rid of what we don't need. Let's hold what we may need, and let's use what we need right now. And let's just keep going in the future, and let's keep swimming. So with that being said, I hope you have a great day, a marvelous afternoon, a splendid evening, and remember to just keep swimming.